So skipping up to lesson 15, the dot matrix LED. It's an 8x8 dot matrix. It has a SPI interface. So you have VCC, ground, data in, chip select, and clock. And the overview basically goes through that. Tells you that it's a MAX7219 that drives the LED matrix and gives you the operating current and a max operating current of 2 amps. So I'm guessing if you try to drive all the LEDs to their maximum brightness, you might want to use a power adapter instead of just using the USB port like I have it shown there. And as usual, they give you the connection diagram, an image of how it's wired up, and they tell you to load the libraries, and then they give you a photograph of what that looks like when it's all done. Quick look at the data sheet for the MAX7219. Has the it can do SPI, Q-SPI or microwire. And some electrical, some timing diagrams, diagram of the functional diagram. It's a 16-bit shift register, and 4 of those bits are address, 8 of them are data, and it goes through a code B ROM. So it's not just a straight bit for bit on how the LEDs get lit up. Then a little bit of a timing diagram, the bit format, basically what I just said. There's 8 bits of data, 4 bits of address, and the upper bits I don't care. And then it goes through the register map, the decoding, can drive a standard 7-segment LED. Basically, that is the data sheet and some example designs, and then some information about the chip itself, and that's pretty much it for the data sheet and the tutorial. So what I have here is I cleared, move that over, the LEDs so that when I start out there's nothing being shown. And so basically all I did was remove everything except the void loop. So it stays active. I set the intensity to 0 and it clears the display, and then it declares this void loop, otherwise it wouldn't compile, and so that blanks the display. The code that it comes with does the same thing, except it sets the intensity halfway to 8, and then it defines the letters A, R, D, U, I, O, I, N, O to spell the word Arduino when it sets these, and it sets them. There's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to get the letter A, it sets these 5, and R, D, U, I, N, O, and then it goes through and lights up some rows in a pattern, some columns in a pattern, and then a single LED in a pattern. And so if I load this, you'll get to see what it does. And it's pretty bright, but hopefully you can see it walking through the pattern. And so it'll go through that. I'm going to let it go. You can skip ahead if you want. But I want to show you what it does at the end, because when it's finished, there's no clearing the display before it spells out the word Arduino again. So when it does that, the last three rows stay lit up. And so I took and modified that code where I basically added the clear display line at the beginning and at the end, so it would clear the display. And I also noticed that it was kind of bright for my camera, so I turned the intensity down to 0. So if I load that, you'll see what the difference is. See, it's a little easier on the eyes, and we'll walk through that. You can watch that, but I also have the oscilloscope that I can show. What I'm showing right now is the clock and the data, I think. Let me take a look. I have the yellow. I bumped the camera. Here, let me try to put the camera back where it belongs. Yeah, not too bad. Anyway, I have the yellow is on the, gotta put my glasses on. Yellow is on clock? No. So I have power, ground, data in. So the yellow is the data in. So yellow is data, blue is my clock. And so if you look at that, as you look at it, you can see that data changes on the falling edge of the clock and gets clocked in on the rising edge of the clock. Okay, and then if I change that to, if I change the clock to chip select, we can take a look at that too. Oh, but I have chip select on channel 2. So I'm going to have to change the trigger to channel 2. There. And let's increase the time base. Let's take off the magnification. And when it gets back around to spelling the Arduino, I'll stop it. I hope I got it zoomed out enough. There. So you can see, now if I zoom back in, make it a little easier. If I, so you see there's the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 where it sets the 5 in each row. And then, of course, the data, which is encoded, so it doesn't necessarily make sense to me what that is. But that's kind of fun to take a look at. And that is really all I have. It's kind of fun to play with. The basic code that it comes with, if you follow their examples, those are the kinds of things you can do with the 8x8 LED matrix. So I think, what else can I say about this? Not much, but I thought it was a little bit interesting, and hopefully you like that.